Well, we got the first trailer for Blue Beetle yesterday morning, and it honestly drew a lot of positive reactions from many fans. But now the main question is, where does he fit into the DC universe? And Deadline has dropped a report, and apparently it's bigger than we hoped. Let's talk about the report and where the Blue Beetle might live on. Well, yesterday we got the first trailer for Blue Beetle. We actually did a full breakdown. I've linked that down below, but honestly, I really liked what I saw, and I am hopeful for this character's future on the big screen. Now, the trailer itself gave us a lot of neat moments, but probably the biggest moment was the tease of costumes worn by Dan Garrett and Ted Kord. This scene totally suggests that there is a history with the Blue Beetle inside the DC universe. And while Ted Kord is not expected to appear, it could be a future plot point where DC is able to explore the relationship with Jaime Reyes down the road. Additionally, if you're a fan of DC Comics, you know how close Ted Kord is with another DC hero, Booster Gold, who is about to get his own series, with Chris Pratt potentially teasing taking up the part. Now, obviously this is a little bit down the road for James Gunn, but it does beg the question of where this new Blue Beetle film fits into the larger picture, and if he will be part of the DCU. Now, a new report from Deadline has dove into the matter a little bit, and given us a little clarification, but again, it's not from James Gunn, so it's not absolutely written in stone. Now, what Deadline revealed is even though this movie was indeed developed under Walter Hamada's watch, what they had to say was, and I quote, "Word is the character will be incorporated in the universe being developed by new bosses Peter Safran and James Gunn." Now, the only reference we saw in the trailer to the greater DC world was that statement about Batman from his overreactive father. But assuming there are no other direct references to the DCEU in Blue Beetle, the character could very easily be incorporated into James Gunn's greater plan. Now, the only problem here I see is it will further muddy the waters and confuse the casual moviegoers. Many of us are hardcore fans, so it's easy for us to figure this out, but the casual moviegoer is easily confused, and when you start adding actors and characters from the Suicide Squad, but then recasting others, well, it's likely to create some confusion with fans. Add on the fact that Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom will arrive after Blue Beetle. It could quite possibly even add more to that confusion and create problems for Gunn that they might simply solve by not continuing with the character. Now, for me, honestly guys, I think it pretty much boils down to how well the movie does. If the Blue Beetle comes out, it's a massive hit, and fans love the character, I absolutely think he has a future in the DCU. But if the film underperforms or doesn't connect, James Gunn and Peter Safran have an easy out, and they'll probably make that call pretty fast. I think Jaime Reyes' version of Blue Beetle is probably one of the best out there, and what we saw in the trailer, in the visuals, in the dynamics, and in the banter was so awesome. I think this movie might be a pretty big hit, and when it arrives in theaters on August the 18th, well, then we'll finally have that answer. Whether he lives on in the DCU, we're gonna have to wait and see.